For well over 300 years, European countries forced Africans onto slave ships and transported them across the Atlantic Ocean. By the 1760s, Britain was the foremost European country engaged in the slave trade. Of the 80,000 Africans chained and shackled and transported across to the Americas, each year 42,000 were carried by British slave ships. A man by the name of William Wilberforce would soon put an end to this tragedy. At the age of 18, William went to St. John's College, Cambridge University. As a student, he lived a carefree life. His early religious intensity had diminished, and he was an active participant in social life of university. It was at Cambridge that he became friends with William Pitt the Younger. William Pitt studied political philosophy, classics, mathematics, trigonometry, chemistry, and history. He was very disciplined in his studies. On the contrary, William Wilberforce immersed himself in the social round of student life and pursued a hedonistic lifestyle, enjoying cards, gambling, and late-night drinking sessions. William Pitt, the future youngest Prime Minister in British history, would remain a good friend and mostly loyal supporter of William in later life. Wilberforce gained the reputation of a witty, generous, and an excellent conversationalist. At his time at the university, drawing to a close, William decided to run for Parliament. Spending £8,000, he was able to win the seat in his native Hull, entering the House of the Commons at age 21. In November of 1785, William Wilberforce wrote William Pitt, saying he was in the midst of a spiritual transformation. Wilberforce would later refer to this as his great change. As a response, William Pitt urged Wilberforce to stay into politics and told him that his political views must reflect his spiritual beliefs. A key factor was reading the evangelical book Rise and Progress of Religion and the Soul Together. This encouraged him to lead a religious life, such as getting up early to read the Bible. He lost interest in card games and drinking. He became a committed Christian for the remainder of his life, and his religion profoundly influenced his outlook on life. John Newton was a former slave trader until he was converted to Christianity and became a pastor. Newton encouraged Wilberforce to lead a religious life, but also he was encouraged to stay in politics and work for social reform. Wilberforce returned to Parliament a changed man and took notice of the abolitionist movement. One of the leading figures of the anti-slavery campaigns, Thomas Clarkson, lobbied him to take an anti-slave cause before the House of Commons. On October 28, 1787, he wrote in his diary,
"God has put before me the suppression of slave trade and the reformation of manners."
In 1789, he gave his abolition speech in the House of Commons, arguing that slavery was a matter of great injustice and contrary to human dignity. Yet the anti-abolitionists outvoted the bill 163 to 88. During this time of waiting, John Wesley wrote Wilberforce a letter of support and encouragement. This would be the last letter he ever wrote, as he would die a week later.
If God be for you, who can be against you? Are all of them stronger than God?
Finally, in 1833, a message was delivered to him that London had passed anti-slavery across the entire British Empire. William Wilberforce helped free over 800,000 slaves. He was overjoyed and then passed away 3 days later.
There is so much we can learn from William Wilberforce. We are in a critical time in our world for social change. We live in a broken world. However, as Christians, we have an obligation to spark change for the good. Wilberforce had an intense passion for social change after his spiritual transformation. He saw the moral issues with slavery, and he was unwilling to sit back and watch this social injustice continue. We need to have the same passion for social change. We cannot be content with sitting on the sidelines as social injustice takes place. We are called to take action, and this starts with having a passion about social change.
William Wilberforce displayed a perfect example of working with others to accomplish a goal. He worked with individuals such as William Pitt and Thomas Clarkson to accomplish their united goal of abolishing slavery. If William Wilberforce tried to go through this long journey alone, there was almost no chance he would have succeeded. However, he surrounded himself with good Christian people who uplifted and encouraged him to keep going. We will face difficult times in our lives, so it is important to surround ourselves with godly people that will uplift us and encourage us to keep moving forward.
William Wilberforce exemplified immense patience. Throughout hardship, rejection, and failure, he maintained peace because of his great faith and patience. He showed endurance and perseverance throughout the rejection of multiple people around him during his pursuit of abolishing slavery. Also, he demonstrated patience by overcoming sickness and pain. Within our busy world, we are in great need of peace and patience. In all areas of our life, as we demonstrate our gifts and skills, we will face rejection and failure. Faith equips us with the peace and patience to overcome these difficulties. It is essential as Christians we maintain a level-headed attitude and a peaceful character by embodying patience.
Overall, William Wilberforce teaches us to have a passion about social change, surround ourselves with godly people, and pursue a life of patience and peace.
Oh, come on. I'm good. You didn't even try.